From stolen beats to getting no likes or views on your posts to family pressure to give up music. Today, I'm going to be going over all the bullshit that comes with being a producer, and more importantly, how to overcome these barriers that you'll face throughout your journey as a producer. Let's get into it. So number one is self-comparison. I feel like this is a topic that is never really talked about, but is so prevalent with being a producer. I mean, you can just open up any social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and all you'll see is other producers making money, posting their placements. You could be like scrolling through TikTok and listening to a beat that somebody else made, and you'll really like the beat, but like also in the back of your mind, you're just like, damn, I could never make anything like this. So it can be really easy to compare yourself and feel like you're behind or these other producers have what you don't. And that's why I think it's so important to realize that everybody's journey as a producer and just in life in general is completely different. It's really unfair for you to compare yourself to another person because you guys are living completely different lives. And instead of comparing yourself to others, what you should really be doing is comparing your current self to your past self. Are you striving and putting in the action to make a difference for yourself? Once you stop self-comparing and start self-improving, you'll feel so much happier with your own growth, and you'll realize that your success will come through patience and time. So moving into number two, we have scammers and bad business. Every single day, producers are getting scammed by fake placement opportunities, stolen beats, bad deals. In fact, I don't know how many of y'all know this, but I literally lost my entire YouTube channel at 30,000 subscribers at one point. And this was through an email scam. So as a producer, it's super important to be able to see scams and see people who are doing bad business before making any decisions at all. So number one is to do your research. If somebody offers a deal or wants to do business with you, find out more about this person or this company. Usually scammers don't have any sort of backbone to their business at all. Like, it's all surface level. So if you do just a little bit of digging, then you'll start to see that this person is a scammer. Number two is to just avoid the too good to be true offers. I actually have a story with this. So not too long ago, I got an email from apparently Ghost Energy, like the energy drinks, and they pretty much wanted to send me some of their products and then promote them in a video. And like, we were going back and forth with conversations. Like, their emails were really good too. Like, they didn't have any typos or any of like the different fonts that scammers will usually have in their emails. Like, it looked professional. And I already gave them some of my info. I gave them my name, email, address. And just as I was about to start sending them more personal information, I just had like this feeling like in the back of my mind that I should just double check this first. Like, I remember that I got scammed at 30,000 subscribers at one point through something kind of similar to this. So I just wanted to make sure that this was legit before I moved forward. So I ended up screenshotting the email and then sending it to Ghost Energy customer support. And then sure enough, the next day they got back to me and said that that is not them. I was literally this close to moving forward with the sponsorship, and I don't even know what would have happened. They would have gotten me at 90,000 subscribers. They would have took my YouTube channel. Everything would have been gone. But anything that's usually too good to be true is usually too good to be true. Play it smart. But as a producer, you're gonna run into scammers and people doing bad business. How you handle yourself and how you approach these situations is what's going to get you past it. So number three is finishing your beats and samples. So you're making a loop or a beat and you're kind of fucking with it, but not to the point where you mix it and lay it out and export it. Or, oh, I'm too lazy to export this. I mean, it's not like this beat is gonna go anywhere, says the producer who would have had the next Drizzy Drake song. But you can literally miss out on placements and money through literally just not finishing your work and putting it out there. If you've ever watched any beat breakdown videos, you'll start to realize that a lot of producers say, I didn't think that the beat would go anywhere. So, you know, when it comes to our music, you never know whose ear it's gonna catch and who's gonna have a vision for what you created that you just didn't see. And finishing the work that you started is overall one of the best habits to have as a producer and just as a person in general. Going back to self-comparison and comparing your current self with your past self, having a habit of finishing the work you started is a great way to become better every single day. Okay, so number four is no likes, engagement, or views. So you're posting videos, but you're getting no engagement, and it's super discouraging, especially when you see other producers making similar content to you and they're like getting all the views and you're not. Like, do people just not like me? Like, do people just not fuck with my content? But that is not the case at all. One thing that you have to understand is that everybody that you know started from zero. But you don't believe me? You need proof? You need proof? Screenshot right there. That was when I first hit 100 followers on Instagram, and it took me about a year And when it comes to making content and trying to get engagement, you don't have to just randomly post content until you find something that works. So let's say that you posted 10 posts. Of those 10 posts, some of them will have 0 views and some of them will probably have around like 200 to 300 views. Instead of seeing that and disregarding those posts and thinking like, oh, I just need to post something better, you should be studying those posts. Think to yourself, why did this post get 0 views and this post get 300? Every single post that you have, good and bad, is a data point for you to look at and understand to see what you need to improve on or see what's going well. And once you really understand why this worked and why this didn't when it comes to making content, that's when you can finally apply what you've learned to grow. Like, content is just a game of just bouncing back and forth off of the knowledge that you get from your posts to constantly move yourself upward. And then just going back, seeing what works, what doesn't, is how you'll eventually start to rise up to get those likes, get those views, and get that engagement that you've been searching for. And a lot of it just comes with experimentation and failing, so just get used to it. Number 5, a producer's biggest op, beat block. So you're trying to make beats, but like just nothing is clicking. And you might even have beats that you might need to post for your channel or loops that you need to send out, which can make it even more frustrating and stressful. And beat block can feel just out of our control a lot of the time. One thing to understand about beat block is that there's so many different factors that can go into why you're feeling this. This could be through fatigue making beats, nothing is inspiring you, mental health problems, perfectionism. So first, if you're a producer and you need to get work done, you need to post, I understand that. Use tools that inspire you. So that could be things like sampling. This could be using loops or MIDIs. Try getting a new VST. There's a lot of tools that we have access to as producers that can instantly inspire us to create. Number 2 is to just take a break. Go outside, go work on a hobby, or maybe just go spend some time with your family. I found that personally, just like going outside, going on a walk, appreciating what's going outside around me is one of the best ways for my brain to just kind of reset itself. And most producers, I feel, don't really understand this. And I didn't really understand this early on into producing, but you can avoid beat block by just having a more balanced life. And that leads me to number 6, which is balancing your music and personal life. So as you start to work more on your craft and take music more seriously, music will start to become your main priority. And this can make it easy for you to forget about yourself too. You don't want to neglect the person who's putting in the work, which is you. I'm kind of actually still working on this one. Here's what I can tell you. Taking care of your mental and physical health is one of the best things you can do as a producer and just as a person, no matter who you are. If you can, go to the gym 3 to 5 times a week, eat healthier foods, and try to go outside more. You'll be surprised how much of a difference just like 10 minutes of sunlight can make on your day, on your entire week. And mental health is just as important. As producers, you know, like, our brain is our superpower. Try to surround yourself with a circle of people who are like-minded, who have the same goals that you do, and take breaks when you need to. The energy that you have each day goes directly into your work and your creativity. You want to go as hard as you can pursuing your goals, but not at the cost of your mental and your physical health, because that will just set you back. All right, so number 7, making money. So trying to make real money as a producer is one of the most difficult parts of producing. You might just feel like there's so much oversaturation and competition. Like, how am I supposed to stand out in all of this? And most producers simply just don't understand the business side of music. Like Murda Beat said, being a music producer is 80% business and 20% music. And I can't tell you how true that has been. As soon as I became a full-time producer, that's when I knew, like, this is what they mean. No matter what lane you're in as a producer, placements, beat selling, e-commerce, you have to know that there's a business behind all of that. And you have to know how to set up your business to make money. So here's a great way to start off with that. Walk through the process of a potential customer from just finding out about you to buying your beat or buying your loop kit, whatever. So they first find you on Instagram. What does your page look like? What's your profile picture? What's your bio? Next, maybe they click on one of your posts. How many posts do you have? What are your posts about? Like, do you have family in your posts, or are they professional? Are they about your brand and what you stand for? So after that, they might go to your website. What does your website look like? Is it clean? Do you have testimonials on there? And the next, they might go to one of the products that you're selling. So that would probably be next, like a landing page. And then eventually they get to check out and then purchase. Through the process of a potential customer, there's all these different steps that they go through. And you want to go through each one of these steps and see if you have them set up for success for your business. Like, maybe your content needs some work, or maybe Maybe your website looks like ass and you need a better website. But as you go through this process and put yourself in the mindset of a potential customer, you'll start to see your own faults in your business, and then that's when you can start to work on them. Another good business practice is to have multiple streams of revenue, but focus on one. You can make money through so many different ways as a producer, like placements, like selling your beats, selling your loops, sponsorships, the list goes on. But it's impossible to target all of these at the same time. You just don't have the time and energy to put your focus into all of these. So target one aspect of those that can make you money that you think is best for you. And number 3 is to follow the path of others who are already successful. We see everyday producers who are really successful and who are making money, and they've literally set the path for you to follow. They have the blueprint to all the steps that they took in order to get to where they are. All you need to do is follow those steps and just apply them to yourself and who you are as an individual producer. But overall, if you want to make money as a producer, you have to treat yourself like a business, and it's pretty shitty, but if you do want to make money, then that's just a necessity. Okay, so number 8 is burnout. So burnout is the killer of productivity and creativity. And this is different from beat block in that burnout is a way of the mind forcing itself to rest. So when you're going through burnout, the best thing that you can do from yourself is to just step away from the work. And I know for me, and probably a lot of other people too, this is kind of difficult because I feel like whenever I stop working and I just take a break, I feel lazy. When that happens, a great thing to do for yourself is to just stay active. Like go to the gym, go play ball with your boys, go on a hike. That helps me a lot with taking a break and at the same time feeling productive with my life at the same time. And again, similar to beat block, a lot of producers don't understand that you can also avoid burnout. You want to treat music like a job. Do your work when you need to work, but also relax when you're off. It's not like at a 9-to-5 job, you're working your 9 to 5 and then as soon as you get off, you're like thinking about work and like you have anxiety about it. That's super unhealthy. And I kind of wish I had someone to tell me about this when I was going through burnout as a producer, but burnout means that you care about your work. It doesn't mean that you're not going hard enough. You make your best work when you feel your best. Okay, so number 9 is hate. As you start growing as a producer, you're just gonna have more eyes on you, and hate is inevitable. You really can't prevent it. And I have gone through my fair share of hate, and there's definitely a right way and a wrong way to respond to the hate that you're dealing with. So when I first started getting traction on YouTube, I eventually started getting hate comments, and at first I saw these hate comments and I just didn't understand them. Like I honestly couldn't see where they're coming from, and it pissed me off. So my response to that was to respond to all these hate comments and say something hateful back. But that looks really bad on your reputation, and that didn't do anything to solve any problems. It just caused more hate because they'd respond to the comment that I responded to with more hate, and then it all just festered. And as I've grown, I've kind of started to realize that the only way that you can really win against a hater is through ignoring them or through unmatched positivity. Like I don't think many people realize this, but you can literally convert your haters. So for example, in a recent video of mine, I made a challenge video where I decided to make a beat using only my haters' advice, and I was able to turn something that was really negative into something that was actually positive. Go watch that video next if you haven't, by the way. And in that way, you can kind of start to lighten the negativity that comes with hate, which is a much better way of handling it than causing more hate. Just understand that most hate stems from jealousy, and a lot of haters have like a part to them that really admires you, but they just don't have the best way of explaining that. And that's why you should realize that if you're getting hate, you're doing something right. And for number 10, I wanted to talk about something that a lot of us deal with but really isn't talked about, and that's family pressure. There's so much pressure from family and friends that directly influence our life and our goals. Your family might not want you to pursue music, or your friends might want you to go out with them every weekend, and this can make it really difficult to make decisions for ourselves. Like I've been a full-time producer for 1 year, and before that I was in college. Before that in high school, like I would go hang out with my friends every weekend. I played football, but even during that time, I always knew that I wanted to do music. Like I wanted to make this my reality. So we all have a life outside of our goals, and sacrificing that life so that we can truly better ourselves is super difficult. So family and friends won't understand what you do until you prove yourself. You need to show your dedication, prove your consistency, and show how serious you are about this. Like when I was like 16 years old and I told my mom, like, I love making music, I want to do this for the rest of my life, she shrugged it off. She laughed at me. She's like, no, you're going to college and you're becoming an architect or whatever. But over time, as I continued every year to work, to hit my goals, to sacrifice my personal life so that I can truly better myself, she started to come around and start to realize that this is like genuinely my passion. And now she kind of did like a full 180 where like she supports me and she wants me to pursue these dreams, and she wants me to make sure that I don't focus on any of these, distractions distractions around me. Well, kind of. She also kind of wants me to have like a backup. But that's not happening. Number 2 is to take calculated risks. Like if you're a producer and you're in college, or if you're a producer and you have a family and you end up getting a big song with an artist and you get like $3,000 in advance money, you can't just be like, oh, okay, I made it. I'm gone. Goodbye. This is going to be my full-time thing now. Whenever you take a risk, you should have a game plan in sight. You should be prepared for the worst possible situation, but you don't want to be anxious about that too. And you yourself, you know yourself better than anyone, and you know what you're capable of. So there's a few things that I really want you to take away from this video. Number 1 is that you will go through bullshit as a producer. It's inevitable. Number 2 is that your mindset is the key to success. Understand that going through these problems is really making you a better producer, and the problems that you go through will only hold you back if you let them. Number 3 is to take care of yourself first. Your mental and your physical health is everything. Don't neglect the person who's putting in the work in the first place. And the number 4 is to be grateful for the bullshit. The process to success is really what makes it worth it. Have you ever gone through a really hard time in your life and then came out of it? Like that feeling of going through something that difficult and then getting yourself out of there, that's what makes it worth it. Like you shouldn't want to feel success 24/7, because then that just becomes a new normal. There's nothing special about it. The hard times are what make the good times so good, and you should be grateful for all of it, because all of this process is just part of your journey. But in total, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end. If you guys did enjoy this video, you know what I'm going to tell you: like, comment, and subscribe. And you can also tap in with me on Instagram @ProdLucent. I post content on there as well. But that's gonna wrap it up for me. Catch you on the next video. I'm out.